Hello everyone. Here I'm standing outside the UK Supreme Court, the symbol of justice here in the UK. In our series so far, we've explored how the Chinese Communist Party wages unrestricted warfare. First, through information, shaping what can and cannot be said. Then through psychological warfare, spreading fear to silence dissent. Today we turn to a quieter but equally dangerous battlefield, lawfare. Law is meant to protect justice, but in the Chinese Communist Party's hands, it becomes a weapon to delay, distort, and to suppress. And here in Britain, we already saw the effects during the pandemic.
Case 1. Overseas police stations. In 2022, a Madrid-based NGO, Safeguard Defenders, revealed so-called Chinese police service stations operating in London and Glasgow. Beijing claimed they were simply help centres for routine paperwork, a place to renew passports or update documents, but testimony from those who encountered them told a darker story. Dissidents reported receiving phone calls inside these offices, reminders that their families back in China could face consequences if they refused to cooperate. Some were told they must return voluntarily to China to settle old charges. Others were visited by officials who made it clear exile does not mean escape. The Safeguard Defenders report documented multiple cases where people abroad were coerced in signing so-called confession statements or pressured into boarding flights back to China. Behind the polite signboard of a community service office, there was in fact a shadow extension of the Chinese security apparatus operating on British soil without oversight or consent. The Met Police investigated but announced they had no evidence or illegal activity. The buildings closed, but suspicion lingers. Did the problem disappear or just go underground? Case 2. Westminster spy scandal. Deeper dive and developments. In April 2024, the Metropolitan Police charged Christopher Cash, 29, a former parliamentary researcher, and Christopher Berry, 32, with offences under the Official Secret Act, specifically providing prejudicial information to a foreign state, China. The two were arrested in March 2023. Cash had worked for the China Research Group, a parliamentary think tank co-founded by senior Conservative MPs such as Alicia Kearns, Foreign Affairs Committee Chair, and Tom Tugendhat, later Security Minister. Berry, meanwhile, was a university academic from Oxfordshire, reportedly with connections to China. Cash, with links to senior MPs, illuminates how deep influence and infiltration can go. Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak at that time raised the matter directly with China's Premier Li Qiang, expressing strong concerns over interference in British democracy. Meanwhile, China's embassy denounced the charges as completely fabricated and malicious slander. The Met described it as a complex investigation, and while both men were granted bail under strict conditions, the case laid bare the risks within our halls of power. It also prompted a diplomatic response, but the damage had already been done. The fence had been breached. In 2023, the scandal unfolded at the very heart of democracy, Westminster. Christopher Cash, a parliamentary researcher, and Christopher Berry were charged under the Official Secrets Act for allegedly passing sensitive information to Beijing, information that could be prejudicial to the interests of the state. Cash, with links to senior MPs, illuminates how deep influence and infiltration can go. The Met described it as a complex investigation, and while both men were granted bail under strict conditions, the case laid bare the risks within our halls of power. It also prompted a diplomatic response. The Prime Minister personally raised the issue with his Chinese counterpart. China's embassy called the allegations fabricated, but the damage had already been done. The fence had been breached. Case 3. Christine Lee lawsuit. In 2022, MI5 issued a rare security alert, naming solicitor Christine Lee as an influence agent of Beijing's United Front, accused of funneling political donations. Lee fought back, suing MI5 for defamation. For 2 years, the case dragged through the courts. Finally, in December 2024, a tribunal ruled decisively MI5 was right, acting to protect parliamentary democracy. Justice was upheld, but only after delay and confusion. This is how lawfare works, cloaking influence in legality, then exploiting the courts to stall accountability. Case 4. Manchester consulate attack. In October 2022, protesters outside the Chinese consulate in Manchester were attacked. BBC cameras captured the shocking moment. A man dragged inside the gates, beaten by consular staff. Yet, when police sought accountability, the attackers invoked diplomatic immunity and quietly left the UK. Law became a shield for impunity. Justice once again slipped away. Case 5. Shenyang bomb threats. In 2025, 3 UK theatres hosting Shenyang performances received bomb threats. One of them was the New Victoria Theatre in Woking. An email threatened that bombs had been planted unless the show was cancelled. Police evacuated, searched and confirmed it was a hoax. The performance went on. Shenyang is not just a dance company, it's a cultural movement. Founded in New York, it revives 5,000 years of Chinese civilization, portraying both ancient legends and the ongoing persecution of spiritual believers in China. That is why Beijing fears it. On stage, Shenyang presents a vision of China without communism, a vision the CCP cannot control. And so the attacks begin. Chinese embassies pressure theatres, performers face harassment, and in 2025 bomb threats were sent to theatres in the UK and US. Police found no explosives. The purpose was fear itself. These threats are the fusion of psychological war and lawfare, trying to silence culture by intimidation. The goal was not destructive, it was fear. Lawfare and psychological warfare intertwine, weaponizing safety concerns to disrupt free expression. Britain versus America, a tale of two democracies. The contrast is striking. In America, lawfare often explodes into headlines. The noise may be uncomfortable, but the public sees, debates, and judges for themselves. In Britain, by contrast, cases too often fade into silence. Police stations closed without evidence, spies investigated quietly, influence agents tied up in years of litigation, protesters beaten, yet attackers walk free. Forms remain, Parliament still debates, newspapers still print, but the scope of accountability narrows. Silence becomes the soil where lawfare grows.
So this concludes episode 3, Lawfare. In our next episode, we will look at psychological warfare, how fear itself becomes a weapon used to silence communities and fracture societies. Stay with us, and if you found this important, please leave your comment, share this video and follow us for more. Together we can bring these truths into the light.